So guys, we are going to start our syllabus with the Oracle SQL. Why are we starting with this Oracle SQL only? Because we ETL testers, we are spending our 70% of time in writing the queries only. This Oracle SQL, it has the major weightage. That is the reason we are starting our syllabus with this Oracle SQL. So now let me explain why this Oracle SQL has the major weightage. We are the ETL testers. That means we are going to perform some kind of testing activities on the database. So my database, it understands only SQL language. So people, whatever I'm saying to you, I'm saying it in English only. Why I'm saying it in English only? Why? Because you people can understand the English, and if you have some doubt, if you haven't understood means, you can again ask me. That is the reason we have chosen our language of communication as English. Whatever the topic I'm discussing, or it is a general interaction, we are not bothering. Whatever it is, I'm speaking in English. In the same way, ETL tester means they are database testers. If they wanted to do something with the database means, our database, it doesn't understand simple English. So that is the reason we need to go for some language what a database can understand. Database can understand SQL. So whatever we are going to perform with the database, we need to use SQL. That is the reason our ETL tester, the major weightage is present with this SQL only. So now let me explain you what are the things I'm going to explain you as a part of this Oracle SQL. So guys, first we'll be starting our session with this introduction to SQL. That means I'm going to teach from the very scratch. That means from very beginning, from the very basic SQL. So guys, in English, we'll start teaching with the ABC. In the same way, in this introduction to SQL, I'll teach what are the basic SQL things we need to learn. And then we'll increase the complexity. We'll go for data retrieval technique. And then we'll start with data definition language commands. And then we'll move for data manipulation commands. After that, we'll go for built-in functions. Then we'll move for data aggregation functions. Then we'll go for constraints, table joins, set operators and pseudo columns, subqueries, transaction control language, views, backup tables, case statement, index, stored procedure, and etc. These are all the things that I'm going to cover as a part of Oracle SQL. So guys, the first thing we are going to cover is introduction to SQL. So now let us start our session with this introduction to SQL. So in this introduction to SQL, what are the things we are going to discuss? We are going to discuss what is introduction to SQL, and then I'll be saying what is the difference between DBMS and RDBMS, and then we'll go for what are the sublanguages present in SQL, and then I'll help you. So guys, yesterday, if you have observed, I have written queries in this SQL software. So for this software also, I'll be helping you in the installation session. So after this, we are going to discuss what are the data types we are going to discuss. And then we'll go for what are the common operators we'll be using in this SQL. These are all the things that we are going to discuss as a part of introduction. So the first thing we are going to discuss is introduction to SQL database. So guys, I'm constantly saying SQL. So what does this SQL stands for? Our SQL, it simply stands for structured query language. SQL, it is the language of database. Database can understand this SQL. Using this SQL, we can store the data, or we can manipulate the data, or we can bring the data present in the database. So guys, in the databases, we have some data. Using this SQL, we can store the data, or if we wanted to perform some changes on the data, we can perform. If we wanted to bring the data. So guys, in this SQL, if we are trying to bring some data, we are calling it as a retrieving. So whenever I call retrieving means, you please understand I'm referring to bringing the data. So using this SQL, we can either store the data or manipulate the data or retrieve the data. So it is providing all the features that is required for a database. That is the reason we are choosing SQL as a language to communicate with the database. Who developed this? In 1970, Dr. Edgar F. Scott from IBM. He has developed this. So we are calling him as a father of the relational databases. We are calling him as a father of the relational databases since he described a model for all the databases. So what are the common databases we have? Some common relational database management system that uses SQL are MySQL, MS SQL, MS Access, Oracle, Sybase, etc. These are common databases. Generally, they use this. All the databases, they are very similar, guys. They differ only in some small syntax. They are differing. So this is what about introduction of SQL. So now we'll go for what are the differences present between DBMS and RDBMS. So first we'll understand what is DBMS and what is RDBMS. Then we'll go for the differences. So guys, simply RDBMS. So RDBMS, it stands for Relational Database Management System. It is a database management system that is based on the relational model. So simply guys, RDBMS, it stands for Relational Database Management System and it is based on the relational model. Whenever I say something, it is based upon the relational model means I'm saying there I have my data in the form of tables. If we have data in the form of tables, then only we can call it as a relational model. And DBMS, it stands for Database Management System, is a software that is used to define, create, and maintain a database and provides controlled access to the data. So simply guys, DBMS, it stands for Database Management System and it is a software that is used to create or maintain a database. So guys, simply DBMS, it is a basic version and RDBMS, it is a advanced version. So here you can see Relational Database Management System. It is an advanced version of the DBMS. In DBMS, data is stored in the form of flat files and there is no relationship between data. So simply guys, in DBMS, we have data in the form of flat files. Whereas in RDBMS, I have data in the form of tables. If data is in the form of table means they are obviously related with each other. And DBMS, it supports only one user. Whereas RDBMS, it supports multiple users. So guys, what is that? I have data in my DBMS. Using DBMS means only one person can retrieve the data. But that is not the case with RDBMS. In RDBMS, you can retrieve the data at the same time and I can retrieve the data at the same time. So this is what about DBMS and RDBMS. So now let us go for what are the differences present between DBMS and RDBMS. So simply guys, first we have DBMS. DBMS, it stands for Database Management System. Whereas RDBMS, it stands for Relational Database Management System. So my DBMS, it is a database that is based upon relational model. But whereas RDBMS, it is an advanced version of the database. In DBMS, as it is the basic model, we can store only a small amount of data. But in RDBMS, we can store a large amount of data. My DBMS, it supports only a single user and my RDBMS, multiple users can access the data at same time. Normalization is not possible in DBMS, but in RDBMS, normalization is possible. So guys, what is normalization? I'll be explaining you in the later classes. If I explain now, you couldn't understand. So the next difference we have is data redundancy. Data redundancy means duplicate data. That means same data. Consider here, my name Consider my name, it is Vijeta. If it is present in multiple places, so that is not needed. But if same name that is present in multiple places, we are calling that as a duplicate data. So duplicate data, it is often referred as a redundant data. Redundant data means same data, it is present in multiple places. Consider the name Shruti if it is present in multiple places. For the same person, the name it is present in multiple places. That is data duplicacy. It in DBMS, a lot of duplicate data is there. But in RDBMS, data redundancy can be decreased. So my DBMS, as it is the basic model, in that we are having only a very low level of security. And coming to RDBMS, as it is the advanced model, it is having high level of security. And in DBMS, software and hardware requirements are low. But whereas in RDBMS, software and hardware requirements are high. And the examples of DBMS are XML, Microsoft Access. And examples of RDBMS are Oracle, MySQL, SQL, Postgres. So these are the some common differences between DBMS and RDBMS. So simply guys, DBMS, it stands for Database Management System. RDBMS, it stands for Relational Database Management System. DBMS, it is a basic model. RDBMS, it is an advanced model. As my DBMS, it is a basic model. It supports only a single user. And here it provides low level of security. As it is having only basic features, the software and hardware requirements are low. This is about DBMS. And coming to the RDBMS, it stands for Relational Database Management System. And it is an advanced version. As it is the advanced version, it supports multiple users and it has high level of security. As it is the advanced version, the software and hardware requirements are also pretty high. And in DBMS, data duplicacy is common. But in RDBMS, data duplicacy can be reduced. The examples of DBMS are XML, Microsoft Access. And the examples of RDBMS are Oracle, MySQL. So guys, these are the differences between DBMS and RDBMS. So guys, are everyone clear up to this point?
Yes, Priyanka.
Guys, everyone please respond, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Priyanka.
Okay.
Yes.
So now we'll go for what are the sublanguages present in SQL. SQL commands, they have been mainly categorized into 5 types. That means there are 5 sublanguages present in SQL. What are they? They are DDL, DML, DRL, TCL, and DCL. These are the 5 sublanguages present in the SQL. At this point of time, I'm only explaining you what does these languages stands for and what are the commands that are falling into the each of the category. Up to this, I'll be explaining you. In the later classes, I'll be showing how they work. So now we'll go for the first sublanguage we have. The first sublanguage we have is DDL. DDL, it simply stands for Data Definition Language. And the commands that are falling into the category of DDL are create, drop, alter, truncate, rename. These are the 5 commands that are falling into the category of DDL. And then we have DML. DML, it simply stands for Data Manipulation Language. And what are the commands that are falling into the category of DML? The commands that are falling into the category of DML are insert, update, and delete. The next language we have is DRL. DRL simply stands for Data Retrieval Language. And the command that is falling into the category of DRL is select. So guys, we ETL testers will be writing 99% of the queries that start with select only. So whatever the query we are writing starting with a select keyword, we are calling such queries as a data retrieval queries only. And then coming to the next language. The next language we have is TCL. TCL, it simply stands for Transaction Control Language. And what are the commands that are falling into the TCL? The commands that are falling into the category of TCL are commit, rollback, and save point. And then the next language we have is DCL. DCL simply stands for Data Control Language. And the commands that are falling into the category of DCL is grant and revoke. So guys, these are the sub languages of SQL. In the later classes, we'll discuss them more clearly. So now we'll go for what are the operators present in Oracle. In SQL, the operators are being categorized into SQL Arithmetic Operators, SQL Comparison Operators, SQL Logical Operators, and SQL Compound Operators. This is the categorization in this Oracle. So first we'll go for first operator. We have the first operator we have is SQL Arithmetic Operator. So under this arithmetic operators, what are the operators we have? We'll see. The first operator we have is plus. So it simply refers for adding, and then minus, it is to subtract, and then multiply. If we wanted to multiply two numbers, we'll be using. If I wanted to perform division, I would be using divide operator. If I wanted to get the remainder when I have divided two numbers, I would be using module. So the operators that are falling into the range of arithmetic operators are plus, minus, into, divided by, and module. So now we'll go for database and we'll write our queries. So guys, this is the database in which we are writing our queries. So now we'll go for writing of queries. So guys, don't worry about this software. The installation of software also I'll be taking a session. So guys, what are operators we have? The arithmetic operators we have are addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus. These are the 5 different operators that are falling into the range of arithmetic operators. Now we'll go for writing of query for each of these operators. How do we write our query? We'll be writing our query starting with select keyword. After select, now I wanted to perform addition between two numbers. So now I wanted to perform addition between 34 and 68. So I have written select 34 plus 68. After that, I have mentioned from clause. After mentioning from clause, we need to mention table name. From which table name we wanted to retrieve. So guys, to perform any of the operation, while designing this software, my developer, he has given a inbuilt table. That is dual. We can use this table and we can write our queries. So dual, it is the inbuilt table which has been defined by the developers at the time of developing a software. This is the way we'll be writing our query guys. So whatever the query we are writing, we'll be writing with a select keyword. And after writing the query, we'll terminate our query. How to terminate the query? So in general English, the termination factor is full stop. Now guys, if we have ended a sentence means we'll keep a full stop. In the same way in this SQL, if we have ended our query means we'll be terminating our query with a simple semicolon. After this, so now I am done with my query. So guys, now let me run the query. So these connections, don't worry about this guys. I'll be helping out with these connections at the time of installation. So running the query means you need to select the query, whatever you have written, and you need to hit a button which is present here. and I'm hitting a green color play button, which is present here. So if I hit a green color play button, which is present on the top of the worksheet, you can see this. I have a output window, which is present exactly below the worksheet. In that worksheet, I have got a output. If I perform addition between 34 and 56, what is the output I would be getting? The output I would be getting is 90. So the same has been retrieved in the output. So now I wanted to perform addition between two more numbers. How to write a query? We'll be writing our query starting with select keyword. After select, I have opened parenthesis. After opening the parenthesis, now I have given my numbers as 435 plus 654. I wanted to perform addition between these two numbers. So after select, I have mentioned those two numbers and I have closed parenthesis. After closing the parenthesis, I have mentioned from clause. After mentioning from clause, we need to mention table name, from which table name we wanted to do this operation. I wanted to do this particular operation from the DL table. So I have mentioned the same. And after that, I'm terminating my query with a simple semicolon. So after writing the query, we need to run the query. How to run the query? Simply selecting the query, whatever we have written, and hitting a green color play button, which is present on the top of the worksheet. So guys, when I hit this button, you can see output window is generated exactly below our worksheet. In that, you can see my output, it is present as 1089. If I perform addition between 435 and 654, I got my output as 1089. So the same output is present in my window. So guys, this is all about addition operator. So now we'll go for the next arithmetic operator. The next arithmetic operator we have is subtract. How do we write our queries? We'll be writing our queries starting with select keyword. After this select keyword, I have opened the parenthesis. After opening the parenthesis, now I wanted to perform subtraction between 56 and 34. So I have given 56 minus 34. After mentioning that, I have mentioned from clause. After giving from clause, I have given my table name as DL and terminated my query with a simple semicolon. So guys, after terminating a query, we need to run the query. So now how to run the query? Hitting a green color play button, which is present on the top of the worksheet. So you can see output window, it is present exactly below this worksheet. So you can see this here. If I perform subtraction between 56 and 34, I would be getting 22. So the same is present in my output window. So next I wanted to perform subtraction between another two numbers. How to write a query? We'll be writing our query starting with select keyword. After select, I have opened the parenthesis. After opening the parenthesis, I have given my number as 654 minus 435. I wanted to perform subtraction between those two numbers. So I have mentioned the same. After that, I have mentioned from clause. After mentioning from clause, I have given my table name as DL and terminated a query with a simple semicolon. So guys, whatever the query you are writing, you please do remember that you need to start writing query with a select keyword and you need to terminate the query with a simple semicolon. Vijeta, you can use select in uppercase or lowercase. So here, if you observe, I am using lowercase only, no? So you can use any of the thing, it will work out. Vijeta, are you clear?
Yes, Priyanka.
Yeah, you can use any of the thing, it works out. See here, I'm writing my queries in lowercase only. So for the next thing, I'll write in uppercase and I'll show. So guys, please do remember that whatever the query you are writing, you need to start it with select keyword. And after that, you need to mention what is the operation you wanted to do. After that, you need to mention from clause. And after from clause, you need to mention the table name. So after that, we'll be terminating the query. The termination factor in our language is simple semicolon. So now let me run the query. How to run the query? Hitting a green color play button, which is present on the top of the worksheet. I have hit the same so that my output window is generated exactly below our worksheet. So in that you can see guys, if I perform subtraction between 654 and 435, I got my output as a 219. If I perform subtraction of these two numbers, I would be getting the same. So the same has been displayed to us in the output. So Vijeta, see here, I have used lowercase now. So now I'll use uppercase for writing a next query. So here I'm writing my query starting with select keyword. After this select keyword, I have used the parenthesis. After using the parenthesis, now I wanted to perform multiplication of two numbers. I wanted to multiply 12 with 8. So I have written 12 into 8. After that, I have closed my parenthesis. After closing, I have mentioned from clause. After mentioning from clause, we need to mention from which table I wanted to retrieve the data. I wanted to retrieve the data from DL. So I have mentioned the same and I'm terminating my query with a simple semicolon. So now let me run the query. So guys, if I perform multiplication between 12 and 8, I would get my output as 96. So the same has been retrieved to us in the output. So guys, for writing the query, we can use either uppercase or lowercase. Uppercase means using upper alphabets. Using lowercase means lower alphabets. Both of the things will work out. Vijeta?
Yes, Shweta. Priyanka.
Here you can see. Here I have used uppercase. It worked out. In the above query, I have used lowercase. It worked out. Both the things are working. Are you clear now?
Yes, Priyanka, yes.
So now,
while you write to select, so they came as a selector in a uppercase. That's why I'm asking this down.
yeah, okay then. So now we'll go for writing of another query. So here I have written my query starting with select keyword. After that, I have opened parenthesis. Now I wanted to perform multiplication between 45 and 76. So I have written the same. After that, I have mentioned from clause. Immediately after from clause, we need to mention table name. From which table name we wanted to retrieve data. I wanted to retrieve data from a inbuilt table name. What is the name of inbuilt table name? The name of inbuilt table name is DL. I have used it the same and I have terminated my query with a simple semicolon. So now let me run the query, guys. So you can see if I perform division between 45 and 76, I have got my output as 3420. So we'll be getting the same, no? The same has been displayed to us in the output window. This is about multiplication operator. Now we'll go for division operator. So I have written my query starting with select keyword. After select, I have opened parenthesis. Now I wanted to perform division between 98 and 2. So I have written the same 98 by 2. After that, I have mentioned from clause. After mentioning from clause, I have given my table name as dual and I have terminated my query with a simple semicolon. So now let me run the query, guys. Running a query means simply hitting a green color play button which is present on the top of the worksheet. So you can see this, if we divide 98 by 2, we would be getting our output as 49. So we have got the same. So now we'll go for writing of next query. So how do we write our query? We'll be writing our query starting with select keyword. After this select keyword, I have opened the parenthesis. After opening the parenthesis, now I have given my number as 75 divided by 4. After that, I have closed my parenthesis. After that, I have mentioned from clause. Immediately after from clause, we need to give table name. So I have given my table name as DL and terminated my query with a simple semicolon. So now I'm done with writing our query. So we need to run the query. I'm running the query and output has been displayed to us. If we divide 75 by 4, we would be getting our output as 18.75. So the same has been displayed to us in the output. So this is about division operator. Now we'll go for the next arithmetic operator. We have the next arithmetic operator we have is modulus operator, guys. When we divide a number by number, what is the remainder we are going to get? That remainder by modulus operator is going to return us. So now we'll write the query and we'll show you. So here I have written my query starting with select keyword. After that, I have opened the parenthesis. After opening the parenthesis, I have given my first number as 10 and then I have given separation factor comma. After this, I have mentioned as a 5. So guys, before that, we need to use mod. We are going to perform mod between 10 and 5. No? So what happens if we are going to perform mod means 10 will divided by 5. When 10 is divided by 5, what is the remainder we are going to get? That my modulus operator returns. So after mentioning mod and the numbers will mention from clause. After this from clause will be giving table name. So the table name here we have is GL. After this we'll terminate our query with a simple semicolon. So guys, now we are done with the query. Now we'll run our query. So guys, if 10 is divided by 5, we are going to get a remainder as 0. So the same has been retrieved to us in the output. So now we'll go for writing of next query. So I have written my query starting with select keyword. After select, I have written keyword for modulus operator, that is mod. After that, I have opened the parenthesis. After opening the parenthesis, I have given my first number as 10 and the next number as 4. After giving both the numbers, I have mentioned from clause. After from clause, I have given my table name as GL and terminated the query with a simple semicolon. So what happened, guys? If I run this query, when 10 is divided by 4, what is the remainder it is going to leave? That remainder we are going to get. So when 10 is divided by 4, it is going to leave us a remainder of 2. So the same has been retrieved to us in the output. So guys, with this, we are completed arithmetic operators. So whether all the people are clear in writing a query and what all the arithmetic operators are doing?
Yes, ma'am.
Vijeta, are you clear?
Yes, Priyanka.
Nasir, are you clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll go for the next operators we have.
Yeah.
The next operators we have are SQL comparison operators. Now we'll go and see what are the operators that are there in this comparison operators. In this comparison operators, we have the operators like equals to, greater than, less than, greater than equals to, less than equals to, and not equals to. These are the 6 operators that are falling into comparison operators. So now we'll go to the database and we'll be writing our query. So guys, now we'll see what are the comparison operators we have. The comparison operators we have are is equals to, lesser than, less than equals to, greater than equals to, and not equals to. These are the 6 operators that are falling into the range of comparison operators. So now we'll go for writing of query. So here I have written my query starting with select keyword. After this select keyword, now I'll go for a simple data retrieval query from one of the table. So how to write? After this select, now I wanted to retrieve all the data present in the employees table. So I mentioned star. Star means all. If I wanted to retrieve all data, I would be mentioning star. After that, I have mentioned from clause. After from clause, I have given my table name as employees. This is the table which is present. I wanted to retrieve data from this employees table only. So after this table name, we need to terminate our query. So now let me run this query, guys. So you can see, guys, this is the data present for the employees table. We have got all the data present in the employees table. For you, this comparison operators will use this employees table only. So now we'll start writing our queries. How to write our query? We'll be writing our query starting with select keyword. After this select, I have mentioned star. After star, I have mentioned from clause. After from clause, I have given my table name as employees. I wanted to retrieve data from these employees. So I'm mentioning the same. So guys, after the table name for comparison operators, you need to use immediately after the table name where keyword. And after using this where keyword, you need to give some condition. So the condition here I'm giving as salary is equals to 24,000. After giving this condition, I'll terminate my query. So now I'll have terminated my query with a simple semicolon. No? So now let me run the query, guys. So what happens if I run this query? All the records from the employee table will be retrieved based upon this condition only. So here I have mentioned salary is equals to 24. No? So from in whichever the records where the salary is matching with the 24, those records will only get displayed to us in the output. So guys, this is about is equals to operator. So now we'll go for the next operator. The next operator we have is less than. How to write a query for that? We'll be writing our query starting with select keyword. After select, I wanted to retrieve all data means I have mentioned star. After that star, I have mentioned from clause. After from clause, I have given my table name as employees. After that, I have mentioned. So for comparison operator, immediately after the table name, we need to use var keyword. So I have used the same. After this var keyword, I'm giving my condition as salary less than 24,000. And after giving the condition, I have terminated my query with a simple semicolon. So now let me run the query, guys. So now I have got all the records from the employees where the salary is less than 24,000. This 24,000 will not be included. All the values less than this 24,000 will be displayed to us in the output. So this is how we write a query for less than. So now we'll go for less than or equals to. How to write a query? We'll be writing our query starting with select keyword. After select, I have mentioned star. After star, I have mentioned from clause. After from, I have given my table name as employees. Since I wanted to retrieve data from this employees table, I have used the same. After this employees, I have mentioned var clause. After this var, I'm giving my condition like salary less than or equals to 24,000. And after this condition, we'll terminate our query with a simple semicolon. So now after terminating our query, we'll be running our query. So you can see, guys, now I have got all the values from the employees table where salary is less than 24,000 and this 24,000 is also included. If you wanted to include 24,000, you need to mention less than 24,000. But if you do not want to include this 24,000, at that time, you can simply mention less than. This is the difference between less than and less than or equals to. So we'll move for the next comparison operator. We have the next comparison operator we have is greater than. For that greater than only we'll be writing our queries. So we'll write our queries starting with select keyword. After this select keyword, I have mentioned star. So now I wanted to retrieve everything. So I have mentioned the star. After that, I have mentioned from clause. After from clause, I have given my table name as employees. I wanted to retrieve data from this employees table only. So I have mentioned the same. Immediately after the table name, we need to use var keyword. And after using this where keyword, I'm giving my condition as salary greater than 24,000. So after giving the condition, we'll be terminating our query with a simple semicolon. So after this, I'm running the query. So guys, if you observe this output window, we have 0 records in the output window. Why we have got 0 records in the output window? Since the highest salary present in the employee table is 24,000 only. There is no salary greater than this 24,000. That is the reason we did not got any salary. So now let me replace this 24,000 with 17,000. So now let us run the query. So there is one salary greater than this 17,000, that is 24,000. So we have got all the records from the employees table where the salary is greater than this 17,000. So it is 24,000. We'll go for writing of next query. How do we write our query? We'll be writing our query starting with select keyword. After select, I have mentioned star. After star, I have mentioned from clause. After this from clause, I have given my table name as employees. And after this employees, we'll be mentioning where keyword. Immediately after the table name, we need to mention where keyword. After this where keyword, I have given my condition as salary greater than or equals to 17,000. After this, we'll terminate our query with a simple semicolon. So now let me run the query, guys. So you can see, guys, I have got all the values from the employees table where the salary is greater than 17,000 and including this 17,000 also. In the previous example, we have seen 17,000 is not included. Why it is not included? Since we have mentioned they're only greater than, that is the reason that particular value has not been included. If you wanted to include that particular value also, you need to use greater than equals to. So we are left with only one more comparison operator, that is not equals to. For that, we are writing our query. We are writing our query starting with select keyword. After this, I have mentioned star. After star, I have mentioned from clause. After from clause, I have mentioned my table name as employees. After this, immediately after the table name, we need to use where keyword. And after that, we need to give condition. The condition I'm giving here as salary not equals to. So guys, in this SQL, if you wanted to mention not equals to means you need to mention greater than and lesser than symbol in together. If you mention greater than and lesser than symbol in together, at that time we are calling it as a not equals to. So here I have given my condition as 24,000. And after giving the condition, I have terminated my query. And now I'm running the query. So I have got all the values from the employees table, excluding this condition. Only this 24,000 is removed, and I have got all the values from the employees table. So simply, guys, if you wanted to include the condition, you need to mention equal to. If you do not want that value, you need to mention not equals to. So this is how we write query for all the comparison operator. So guys, are everyone clear up to this comparison operators?
Yes, Priya.